Hello, good morning. Today we are going to learn little bit slightly more detailed into electrostatic spinning, which is the subclassification of open-end spinning that we learned yesterday. The concept of open-end spinning. I hope you remember that fibers are opened out to the individual level and they need to be again collected back by using some kind of a reassembling device. So let's begin. So as we have, I just repeat again, that under open-end spinning systems, we have these 5 systems that we got to learn: rotor spinning, electrostatic spinning, air vortex spinning, friction spinning, and disc spinning. So rotor spinning we'll do in the end. Today we are going to see electrostatic spinning. So this is the passage of material. So let us just go through one by one. This is the roving bobbin. The roving comes off the roving bobbin, and it is fed into the conventional double apron drafting system, which is a 3/3 drafting system. The 4 marked here is the fibers. The 5 is the negatively charged yarn end, the seed yarn end, which is required for open end spinning. The seed yarn is inserted here into the after the drafting zone before it gets collected, and this seed yarn is going to be negatively charged. We'll see how it works. This is the twisting element. Some kind of twisting element is kept over here, which will twist and let the yarn get withdrawn. This 7 is a drive to the twisting element, which will help the yarn end rotate. This number 8 is the withdrawal roller, and 9 is the pickup and the package. So this is a very simple passage of material. Again, just to repeat, this is a roving bobbin from which the roving enters the 3/3 drafting system. The fibers come out of the drafting front roller and they are thrown or directed towards a twisting element, and this twisting element twists this particular seed yarn and lets the fiber, which are newly coming fibers from the front roller, to get twisted, and they are withdrawn using some kind of drawing and withdrawal rollers, and it is wound onto a yarn package. So a very simple passage. So let us go further, and let me again explain why this electrostatic spinning is classified as an open-end spinning system. So we have seen yesterday, in an open-end spinning system, the fibers have to be opened out to the individual fiber state. Only then it would be classified as open-end spinning system. And after opening of these fibers, they need to be collected onto some kind of assembling device and twisted and withdrawn. So this is exactly what is happening here. The fibers that exit from the front roller, they must be collected and twisted to form a yarn. Here, in this case, in electrostatic spinning, the collection is done by using a electric field, and the twisting is done by using a some kind of twisting unit. It can be any kind. It could be belt over belt, or any kind of twisting unit is applied here that twists the yarn. So the details of this particular system is that the electrostatic field is generated between the front roller and the twisting element. The space that is there between the front roller and the twisting element, there the electrostatic field is actually being applied. So a earthing is applied to the front roller, and a high voltage of around 30,000 to 35,000 volts is applied to the twisting element. So it's quite a high voltage. This field will accelerate the fibers from the front roller and guide them towards the yarn end, the seed yarn, which is there in the twisting element, and it maintains the orientation. That means it maintains the elongated configuration of fibers, means basically the orientation of the fibers. That means they are not disturbed very much, and they would be guided smoothly in that particular area from the front roller of the drafting system to the twisting element. When the fibers enter this field, they take up and form dipoles. What happens is basically the fibers will get charged because of the electric field. One end of it becomes positively charged, the other one gets negatively charged, and so then they are able to um, travel towards the twisting element. The open yarn end projects from the twisting element into the field. The yarn is basically negatively charged and is therefore attracted towards the front roller. Since it is negatively charged, it will always be attracted towards the front roller, and from the front roller, as the fibers are coming out, this seed yarn will first grab these fibers, twist them, and since it is being withdrawn, it will form a continuous yarn length. So what are the associated problems? As I have mentioned earlier, that this particular electrostatic spinning system is not very popular. It is not commercialized. It was just at the research stage, and it was not really developed into a commercial state. So the reason being, there are some associated problems with this kind of yarn formation. Let us see what they are. Here, first of all, the fibers need to be charged, and the air humidity that is there around, the atmospheric humidity, will affect this charging of the fibers. And for a uniform charging, the environment must be perfect. The machine might need some kind of air conditioning also, so that way it becomes a real problem to have this kind of a uniform environment around the machine. The charge that each fiber takes up also depends on the mass of the fiber or the weight of the fiber. If there are short fibers which are being fed into the zone, then what will happen is the low mass will behave differently from that of the longer fibers. So then again the charge distribution on each fiber will not be uniform. At the same time, there must be a limit on the number of fibers that enter the electrostatic field, because otherwise they will cause disturbance, because if there are a lot of fibers, they will start attracting and repelling each other within the field because of the charge formation on their ends. And therefore this kind of a system would be limited to somewhere not very fine, but they would call it finer up to maybe 40s Ne, not beyond that, and not lower than that also. The last problem that is there, the same effect is observed with high speeds or other high productions. If the production is high, is going to be, if we want to increase the production in this kind of a system, what happens is we will have to also increase the number of fibers entering this machine, and that is the input and the output. So therefore, when there is a high throughput speed, even in that case, you find that there is a very large variation in the charge that is there on the fibers coming out of the system, and this will cause disturbance, and you may not get a good yarn. So the specifications are like this. In 1971, actually this machine was built, and it remained that way. In that particular experimental machine, there were around 20 heads. That means 20 spindle positions were there, and the delivery speed was 40 meters per minute. The raw material that you can process is only cotton. The count range is between 20s to 40s. Again, you won't call it very fine, but amongst, if you say it is somewhere not very fine, but coarse, around 20s to 40s is somewhere medium. The feedstock that we need is the roving. Yeah, before I said in the last lecture, I said that the roving frame is eliminated, but the roving frame in this case is not eliminated. There are no stages that are dropped, so even that is a problem. We are not eliminating, so there is no cost saving as such here. Then you see the type of yarn. What we get is a conventional single yarn. The quality, when you come to the yarn, the features or the characteristics, it's a good quality yarn at low production speeds. somewhat like ring spun yarn, and the structure is also somewhat like ring spun, but it is only limited to fine yarns only. The special features are that yarn quality is heavily dependent upon the atmospheric conditions, as we have just seen, because there are so many factors that affect, even humidity affects the charge. And the last, in under remarks, we see there is ozone formation. That is because of the high voltage that is applied between the twisting element and the front roller of the drafting system, which is about 30,000 to 35,000 volts. What happens is there is some sort of ozone formation there, which is actually hazardous to health. I mean, it creates health issues with the lungs. So this ozone formation is another huge problem with this kind of a spinning system. So this is it. This was a short introduction, or rather the topic, which was electrostatic spinning. So whatever problems are there, of course, we will meet over Google Meet, and we will discuss them. So please go through this video, and you may ask your questions when we meet. Thank you.